now, President Biden is in Europe to meet with Nato and EU leaders on the crisis in Ukraine, how they hope to stop Russia's invasion. And we're following breaking news out of Milwaukee as police search for a missing 3-month-old boy. This is News 3 Now at noon. And we begin with breaking news right now. An Amber Alert has been issued for a missing 3-month-old from Milwaukee. Anthony Crudup was last seen in the 4300 block of Marion Street around 12:30 this morning. Police say he was wearing a 2-piece light and dark blue sweatshirt with a white design. The child's about 2 feet tall, has brown eyes, black hair. Anyone with information on his whereabouts should call 911. Also breaking into our newsroom just minutes ago, the U.S. Supreme Court is striking down Wisconsin's new electoral maps. The maps proposed by Governor Tony Evers were approved by the state Supreme Court earlier this month, but Republicans appealed that decision to the U.S. Supreme Court, which ruled today that the maps drawn for the state assembly and state senate did not comply with the Voting Rights Act. We'll continue to follow this story throughout the afternoon on channel3000.com. The Hart Road Bridge that crosses over I-3990 near Beloit will partially reopen today. Officials say the bridge is open for 1 lane of traffic and drivers are urged to drive slowly when crossing. The bridge was closed all day yesterday after a semi-truck caught fire underneath it. The fire blocked traffic for nearly 8 hours. It's unclear when the bridge will be repaired. Let's head to the Weather Center now. Julian Seawright has a look at your certified most accurate forecast and fog earlier on.
That's right, and we're going to continue to see fog throughout the rest of our afternoon, especially going into our evening hours. It's kind of hard to believe that it was just 70 degrees just a few days ago, as we're now looking at fog, dense fog advisory to be in effect for Dane County and areas to the east and south until 7 p.m. this evening. As we look outside, you can see just how thick that fog is right now, just here in Madison. Very, very low visibility, only about a mile for us here in Madison. And areas into the south, we can see from Monroe, just 1/4 of a mile is what we can see. But many of us in southern Wisconsin are dealing with that dense fog. As we're looking ahead, expect that fog to stick around, but temperatures will stay onto the chillier side. We're going to be into those lower to middle 40s throughout the rest of our afternoon, with on and off showers to continue for us as well. As we can see on our radar as of right now, just a bit north of Madison, we're still dealing with some light stretches of some rain, and especially into the northwest as well, outside of Crawford County. We're going to expect that, again, to be on and off throughout the rest of today, but we can see that divide of that colder air rolling in from the southwest starting to push its way across southern Wisconsin as we're still holding on to those 40-degree temperatures. We'll talk more about what else is coming up in the rest of this week, because it's not going to feel a whole lot like spring, Mark, but we're going to go into detail about it in a few moments.
All right, we'll check back. Thanks, Julian. As the battle for Ukraine rages on, President Biden is headed to Europe looking for ways to stop Russia's invasion. Skylar Henry has the latest.
President Biden departed the White House for Brussels this morning to meet with European allies. Reporters asked about the possibility of Russia using chemical weapons against Ukraine.
I think it's a real threat. Thank you.
NATO and G7 leaders are expected to discuss how to put even more pressure on Russia to end its war in Ukraine. Those steps could include more sanctions and plans for tougher enforcement of existing sanctions to ensure Russians being targeted can't evade the punishments. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is expected to address the meetings virtually. Ukraine has been pushing for EU and NATO membership, but isn't a part of either alliance. President Biden will also visit Poland, in part to thank its leaders and people for taking in millions of Ukrainian refugees. In Ukraine, Russia is still inflicting heavy damage from the air. This residential neighborhood in Kyiv was hit Wednesday.
It seems like not rocket, because if it's rocket, it's more damage. I don't know. It was many bombs.
On the ground, Ukrainian forces and civilians are on the counteroffensive. They recaptured a key town outside Kyiv this week. Military analysts say Russian troops have made surprisingly slow progress as they face determined Ukrainians. This man has a hunting rifle at the ready.
I'll show you.
And a supply of homemade Molotov cocktails. Many Ukrainians are not willing to give up an inch of their homeland. without a fight. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
And meanwhile, millions in Ukraine are just trying to survive. And experts say if the war drags into next year, up to 90% of Ukrainians could be forced into poverty. Ukraine's government says Russian forces have destroyed at least $100 billion worth of infrastructure, and 50% of the country's businesses have shut down. UN experts say a drawn-out conflict could also wipe out 2 decades of Ukraine's economic gains. Farmers are already feeling the pain with their crops under threat. Ukraine grows about half of the grain that the World Food Program buys to feed 125 million people globally, and now the ports are also shut down.
Unfortunately, conflicts exacerbate hunger with the migration and just people leaving.
The UN is working to provide cash to buy food and other basics for those who stayed in Ukraine to stop the economy from collapsing. A natural gas line fire prompted highway closures and the evacuation of hundreds of families in Texas early this morning. The fire in Mansfield was sparked when a vehicle hit a pipeline. The driver was hospitalized with serious burns. It took firefighters more than 2 hours to get the fire under control. It might not be much longer until there's a COVID-19 vaccine for little kids. Moderna announced some results for its vaccine for children 6 months to 5 years. The company says the vaccine had what it calls a robust neutralizing antibody response and a favorable safety profile. There were also some adverse reactions as well, but they were mild or moderate and typically happened after the second shot. Moderna says it'll ask the FDA to authorize the vaccine in the coming weeks. Supreme Court nominee Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, that is back for a second day of questioning in her confirmation hearings in Washington, D.C. Deborah Alfarone has the latest.
I just want to lodge a protest.
Day 3 of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's Supreme Court confirmation hearings kicked off with partisan bickering over how the hearings are being run.
After every time somebody on this side of the aisle asks questions of the judge, you come back and you denigrate and you attack and you criticize the line of questioning. I think the judge is doing a pretty good job of defending her own position and answering questions.
Chairman Dick Durbin defended his handling of the hearings and said some of the questions had less to do with Judge Jackson's record and more to do with politics.
To showcase talking points for the November election. For example, all Democrats are soft on crime, therefore this nominee must be soft on crime.
Some Republicans have said Judge Jackson was too lenient on sex offender sentencing, a claim that former Senator Doug Jones, who President Biden picked to guide Judge Jackson through the confirmation process, dismissed.
We were expecting tough questions, but, we're not quite expecting questions that mischaracterize her record and those kind of things. Her record speaks for itself.
In an equally divided Senate, Judge Jackson's eventual confirmation vote is shaping up to be mostly along party lines.
Based on what I'm hearing so far, I have a hard time supporting her based on what I know.
The White House says 1 or 2 Republicans may still be convinced to vote to confirm Judge Jackson to the Supreme Court. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And Thursday is the final day of the hearings, but Judge Jackson will not be in attendance. The day will feature questions for outside witnesses, such as representatives from the American Bar Association. Area firefighters and police officers are hitting the ice for the annual Battle of the Badges. Battle of the Badges is a community fundraising event that benefits safe communities, Madison-Dane County, and the fight against substance abuse. This year's game comes after a 2-year break because of the COVID pandemic. Teams hit the ice today to practice for Saturday's big game. To date, the game has raised over $85,000. Participants say they enjoyed getting together with their brothers and sisters to help the community, and it's just a lot of fun.
A lot of us are on the older side, so we're out here having fun. It's exercise. A little competitive at times, but it's still exercise.
The teams are also preparing for a soccer game to be played this summer. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon.
Moderna moves to expand the age range for its COVID-19 vaccine, and an Easter basket favorite gets personal this year. I'm Diane King-Hall at the CBS Broadcast Center. All of those stories and more in your CBS Money Watch report.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
Do you want everything you may deserve? Tell the insurance company you mean business.
I knew who to call.
They know how to get more from the insurance company.
Call 800-800-5678, Hupy and Abraham, right now.
This is Connie Ryan of Ryan Funeral Homes. While things have changed, it's still necessary for families to stay connected. And when it comes to the loss of a loved one, it's important to process and grieve and honor your loved one in a way that keeps everyone safe. We're doing this through intimate services and private virtual streaming so your family can be part of the service no matter where they are. Ryan Funeral Homes are here with your safety in mind and compassionate care in your time of need.
At McGann Furniture in Baraboo, we know that hardworking people want the most value for their money. When you shop at McGann, we've already sorted out and selected the brands that we feel offer you the most bang for your buck. From young couples just starting out to senior citizens, we offer a huge selection at prices that will fit your budget. Plus, most purchases include free delivery and setup. And remember, at McGann, we don't raise our prices only to lower them later for a sale. Discover the difference at McGann Furniture in downtown Baraboo.
Andrew Larson here, owner of Larson Home Services. My team is fired up. We've discovered a new replacement gutter system that sets the standard for performance, durability, and beauty. It's called Gutter Shutter, and it's guaranteed to never clog, sag, or pull away. Gutter Shutter is the world's strongest high-performance gutter with thicker aluminum, wider gutter size, and it's available in 18 beautiful colors. Best of all, it's made 100% in the USA. Over the years, my team at Larson Home Services has installed thousands of gutter systems and premium roofs in our community. And what really sets us apart is the experience you'll have. You'll be like a member of our team throughout the entire process, and we'll always follow up to make sure your experience with us was as promised. That's the Larson experience. We can't wait to show you what Gutter Shutter can do for your home. Right now, get 75% off installation labor, free financing for 24 months, and a $100 Visa gift card with your new Gutter Shutter system. Call now to set up your free estimate.
Habitat for Humanity of Dane County continues to help hardworking families attain homeownership. By providing financial coaching, homeowners can manage their mortgage and other finances while building stability for their family. Strengthen our community. Support Habitat Dane County.
If you've been injured in an accident, don't take on the insurance company alone. Put resources and experience on your side. Call 800-800-5678, Hupy and Abraham, right now.
Moderna says its vaccine works on babies, toddlers, and preschoolers. The company has been testing a smaller dose regimen on children ages 6 months to 5 years. Moderna says it expects to seek emergency use authorization of the shots in both the U.S. and Europe in the coming weeks. Workers at a Seattle Starbucks unanimously voted to unionize yesterday, making it the first location in the company's hometown to do so. The Seattle Cafe joined 6 other company-owned Starbucks that have voted to unionize under Workers United. More than 100 other locations have filed to hold union elections. Roughly 52 million American workers make less than $15 an hour. That's according to new research by Oxfam. That translates to about a third of the U.S. workforce. The numbers disproportionately affect women and minorities. 40% of women make less than $15 an hour compared to just 25% of men, and nearly 50% of Black and Hispanic workers make less than $15 an hour. It's as many companies are raking in record profits. And just in time for Easter, you can now personalize your own Peeps. The company's website is letting consumers design chicks to their liking. You get to pick the marshmallow color, the chocolate coating, and a topping. A dozen custom Peeps will cost about $30. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to CBSMoneyWatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Diane Kinghall.
Diane, thank you. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials down 318 points. The NASDAQ off 27. The S&P 500 down 32. Well, home prices are increasing at a rate not seen in decades. Dania Backus takes a closer look at how long it could continue.
And I just want you to take a look at all of the people who are lined up to see this property.
Realtor Monique Edwards says a simple home showing in Raleigh, North Carolina drew a swarm of potential buyers.
People were frantic. They just wanted to make sure there was no holes in the walls, ran upstairs, and then said, okay, I want to put in an offer.
We're in this really crazy time in housing right now.
Zillow economist Nicole Bichot says there is a shortage of available homes. The number of listings has dropped more than 42% since January of 2020. Because of that, prices are soaring. Home values increased nearly 20% over the last year.
There's so many people trying to buy houses right now, and there's just not enough supply to satisfy them.
Bichot says home construction slowed during 2008's Great Recession. Builders now want to ramp up, but the pandemic has created shortages of materials and workers.
And that's why we're going to continue to see prices rising for the foreseeable future.
Experts believe rising mortgage interest rates could slow demand slightly.
It's about 30% more expensive to pay for a mortgage on today's home than it was a year ago. That's hundreds of dollars a month in some cases. And so, people who are right on the edge of, being able to afford something might be pushed out of the market for the time being.
But Zillow predicts home values will continue to climb about 16% this year. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And according to Redfin.com, 8% of homes are valued at $1 million or more. That's up just 4.8% from 2 years ago. Next at noon, we'll share your latest ag numbers, plus a dense fog advisory continues into the evening. Julian has your latest forecast when we come back.
Celebrate Ashley's anniversary sale with our biggest scratch and save mattress sale ever. We have millions of dollars of inventory with savings up to 65% off. Save $1,000 instantly on Serta Perfect Sleeper and finance interest-free for 5 years. All at Ashley, Wisconsin's #1 mattress retailer.
Everything seems to be more expensive these days. Everything costs more. Ron Johnson should be helping families like us, but he seems to have helped himself instead. An investigation found that Ron Johnson pushed through a special tax loophole that benefited his own family's business. Then he cashed out of the company for $5 million. He's doubled his wealth since taking office. It doesn't seem fair to me. Tell Ron Johnson to stop passing tax laws that benefit himself.
Do you suffer from chronic or severe back or neck pain? Did you know that there is now a treatment method available right here at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center that offers hope of avoiding spinal surgery for those suffering with bulging, herniated, or degenerative discs? Our therapies help reduce pain related to these conditions and have a high success rate in helping people just like you avoid back or neck surgery.
I've experienced low back pain for over 15 years. I had back surgery when I was 26 and had difficulties recovering. The doctors at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center have given me a new lease on life. I am now able to enjoy an active, pain-free lifestyle.
Call Midwest Spine and Nerve Center now to schedule a no-obligation consultation to see if our progressive pain-relieving therapies are right for you.
Biggest scratch and save anniversary sale ever. We have millions of dollars of inventory with savings up to 50% off on doorbusters and finance your entire purchase interest-free for 5 years. All at Ashley, Wisconsin's #1 furniture and mattress retailer.
A former News 3 Now anchor opens up about her battle with epilepsy.
Tomorrow, you'll learn about the treatment that stopped her seizures and her work to erase epilepsy stigma.
And we are tracking more rain showers and a few snowflakes headed our way. That's tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7.
News 3 Now is taking action to find and deliver the news stories that matter where you live.
Taking action to uncover the truth, getting answers, and finding solutions that can make an impact in your life and our community where we all live.
Taking action for South Central Wisconsin. News 3 Now.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
And Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report is out of the radio barn today, touring the Hawaiian Islands. Good for her. So here are your farm numbers. Here's Julia now with a complete look at your forecast. A little foggy out there.
That's right, a bit foggy, so much so that we have a dense fog advisory in effect for all of South, or not all, but for areas from the east and south of Dane County until 7 p.m. That's going to be the gray on your screen. We're going to be seeing that thick fog sticking around for us, and it has dropped visibility quite significantly here in southern Wisconsin. Even though we have seen some improvements around Dane County, we're still looking at pretty thick fog areas just about east of Madison as of right now, but still half of a mile of visibility towards Monroe. And since for those who are going to be traveling for around lunchtime or even for the later evening commutes, just know to use your low beams and to be careful when traveling because of how thick the fog is. Now, this is just a scene of outside here, just outside of our sky cam as of right now. With our current conditions right now, we're still dealing with a bit of some light rain, but 43 degrees for us. It's still on the cooler side as we're kicking off our afternoon, and many of us are much cooler as we're continuing throughout much of this afternoon. With 50 degrees in Janesville, however, we can see over into the north, a bit more of that cooler air is rolling in for us into the 30s as of right now with 36 degrees into the Dells. Planning out the rest of today, just know we're going to see continued on and off showers for us, and the fog is going to stick around until we get into the later part of tonight. Other than that, it is going to be a dreary day for us. Now, as we continue to look at our radar, just seeing the vast and really broad moisture that we are looking at still, as we continue to look around here in southern Wisconsin, we can see just about outside of Viroqua and even near the Dells, a bit of mixing is starting off with the cooler temperatures as of right now. But we are still dealing with some light rain showers around Dane County and areas into the west near Prairie du Chien and Crawford County is where we're looking at a bit more moderate rainfall, but still nothing too crazy as of right now. And as we continue to look at our surface map, that low pressure is going to continue to track east, which is going to continue to bring all that moisture that we're seeing into our friends over towards the Ohio Basin. But for us right now, we're going to be looking at a couple more days of seeing some potentials of precipitation for us. But as we plan out the rest of today, again, it's going to be on and on. So around the 5 p.m. commute, might not even see some showers around Dane County, but as we get into tonight, we're going to see more pop-up isolated showers. And as we can note over into the northern areas or central Wisconsin, we can see a bit of some snow starting to roll its way in, and then we're going to see a bit of some mixing as we get into our morning commutes for tomorrow. So expect another wet one, could be even making some slick conditions for us as we get our morning commute going for our Thursday. And in areas to the south near Greene County, we're going to be looking at lunchtime to be seeing some snow showers to pop up for us. But in terms of seeing any more rain, not a whole lot more. We could see close to 1/4 of an inch of rainfall here in southern Wisconsin. But for the most part, we're done with any real heavy rain throughout the next event. And on top of that, we may see a bit more snow starting to roll its way in as we get into our Friday. But for the weekend, folks, we are looking for drier conditions. But the thing is, it's going to be on the cooler side too. We're not going to be looking at much in terms of spring-like weather in terms of the temperatures, but the showers are going to be consistent as we get into next week. And that's what we're going to see from the 10-day forecast for us. As we get into the weekend, it's going to be on the drier side, but it is quite chilly. Into the upper and middle 30s, a little bit of improvement, but next week is still back and forth from the low 40s to the upper 30s as well. But we do have still some chances of seeing some more showers. But since it's going to be on the cooler end, we are keeping an eye on seeing more snow showers going into next week. Accumulating, maybe not so much as of right now, but that, of course, is subject to change, Mark.
I don't see any 70s on there.
I know. It is hard to believe we had 70s on Monday because now it's back to, what, winter?
Yeah, just about. All right,
I gotta love it.
Thank you. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Howard is getting a jump on preparing for Easter in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
The treat we're making today is perfect for Easter. Stick around, because you'll want to hop right on this one.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
Save big on your bathroom project with 11% off everything at Menards. Get your remodel started with a new Delta shower. They feature smooth wall surfaces that are mildew resistant and easy to clean. Right now, get 11% off all Delta showers. Finish your renovation with a new vanity from Magic Woods. With many sophisticated styles to choose from, it's easy to find the right match for your decor. Get 11% off all Magic Woods vanities.
Save big money at Menards.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
In Madison, contact Heating and Cooling Incorporated to maximize your comfort and energy savings whatever the season.
Guys, do you suffer from erectile dysfunction? Now there's great news. Peak Performance for Men will help you regain your performance and confidence naturally. Peak Performance for Men uses an advanced form of acoustic wave therapy, clinically shown to open up and regrow blood vessels, restoring normal and natural functionability where it counts most. There are no needles, no surgery, and best of all, no pain. Call now and receive an ultrasound, your initial consultation, all for free, and over $300 value. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
So, what do you think?
I love it.
With Easter just a few weeks away, you're probably starting to think about what you're going to serve for dessert or what to bring if you're invited to someone's house. Well, this year, rather than making the same old thing, how about making a from-scratch carrot cake that's guaranteed to be the talk of the table? We start by creaming some brown and white sugar along with some butter until it's light and fluffy. To that, we add a few eggs, one at a time. Now for the part that gives this lots of flavor, we add a can of crushed pineapple that we've drained, our grated carrots, some raisins, and a splash of vanilla. To bring this together, we beat in our dry ingredients along with a few off-the-shelf spices. This goes into a 9x13 baking dish and gets baked off until it passes the toothpick test. Once it cools, we top it with a simple homemade cream cheese frosting, fancy it up with some nuts, and it's ready to serve. Everyone may be stuffed from Easter dinner, but I can assure you, no one's gonna pass this by. To get the recipe, all you have to do is go to our website and look for what we call Fabulous Carrot Cake. The reason we call it that will be pretty obvious after one forkful. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a
fabulous way.
Yeah, a fabulous way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, here's Julian. One final check of the forecast.
Well, just know we're still going to be dealing with dense fog throughout the rest of today, but some areas are worse than others. For example, the southwest, as we can see outside of Platteville, or we could just in a moment ago, well, it's not as bad as it is around Dane County and areas into the east or even more south near Greene County as well. But aside from that, well, here's a look at our 10-day, folks. It's going to be on the cooler side. We're not going to be getting that spring-like feel for quite a while because this 10-day stretch is going to be on the colder end as we're into the upper 30s and mid to lower 40s as well. Good news is this weekend's going to be on the dry side after all this rain and even the mixtures that we're going to be dealing with throughout the rest of the week. Aside from that, we're going to be pretty smooth sailing heading into next week, but keeping an eye on some snow showers as well, Mark.
All right. Thank you, Julian. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.